I did, and the ones I talked to are angry. Esther Parrish is one of at least 100 students who protested right here outside the Theta Chi fraternity house after seeing ECU's sexual assault alert. Those students calling for accountability. I got a chance to talk to Superintendent Dr. Barry Collins here today at the Board of Education meeting here in Onslow County. Dr. Collins still maintains the school male administrator did nothing wrong in searching the 17-year-old female student. Val, Frank, as you mentioned, there is a very heavy police presence. I'm going to step out of the way so you can see it right here behind me. We have seen dozens of law enforcement patrol cars whiz past us to this area just in the few minutes that we've been here. Again, you can see Craven County Sheriff Chip Hughes behind us getting out of a truck. We are waiting to hear more information as to what exactly happened out here this evening, and we will be providing live updates for you on the scene here. Sheriff, we're actually live here on News Channel 12. We really appreciate you being out here this evening. Do you have any update that you can provide our viewers tonight as to what exactly happened out here?
Kate Hussey was the first reporter on the scene for hours. She's been posting updates to her social media accounts and informing us all about road closures and traffic delays. She joins us now live. And Kate, what happened?
Well, take a look here behind me. I'm actually going to step out of the way so you can see just a bit clearer. You can actually still see this tractor trailer here in the median on its side between Highway 70 east and westbound. As you may have seen from the slug here on this Facebook Live, you can see that we are standing on US 70 east. Because of those accidents earlier today and the icy conditions that caused them, you can see here behind me the police barricade blocking off one of the access points to the US 17 bypass, also known as the Lewis Sewell Bridge here in Jacksonville. This is just one of all access points to the bypass blocked off. That's where ice just like this accumulates. Take a look at what we're seeing even on our news car. Investigators say they did not find a body in that car. That was something they were concerned about this morning. Port officials and passengers I talked to both believe that people are just tired of being at home and feel safer as COVID cases are dropping. Take a look at the sheer amount of people lined up, the line extending all the way down the street here at the Seafood Festival. This is just a small representation of the amount of people law enforcement and business owners tell me they are expecting this year, as much as 2 to 3 times the amount of people we normally see. It's been a busy day out here at Big Rock Landing. Take a look here behind me. This is now the 7th fish brought in for weigh-in just the past half an hour. That's absolutely right, Frank. In fact, we've seen people stop by our tent here on Vernon Avenue, not just once, but twice. One woman actually dropping off a few items, going inside the store and coming back with more. In fact, we've seen donations as small as just a can of tuna fish and as large as hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Every donation making such a big difference for people in our area who don't know where their next meal is coming from. In fact, joining us here this evening to talk more about that need is Kevin Foy with Food Lion.
Is breaking news.
We begin with breaking news tonight. We're learning Wayne County officials responded to reports of an active shooter tonight at Wayne Memorial Hospital. We're continuing to follow the developing news out of Columbia, South Carolina, where police have confirmed at least 12 people were shot during a shooting at the Columbiana Center Mall in the state's capital. In fact, that's where we find reporter Kelsey Sanchez. She joins us now live. Kelsey, what can you tell us? We begin with breaking news tonight. Crews are responding to an overturned fuel tanker that is actively leaking fuel in Newport on Highway 70 just inside the Carteret-Craven County line. Now, that's according to Newport Fire Chief Benny Whitley and Fire Marshal Eddie Lewis. Now, here is a live look of the blockade currently set up on Highway 70. Update on the suspect officials tell us they are searching for after last night's standoff in LaGrange that continued into this morning. That suspect here is 30-year-old Robert Lee Strother. He is facing several felony warrants. Gaining strength in the Atlantic, Hurricane Sam, you've been tracking this for us, and you mentioned it's now a Category 4, but will Eastern North Carolina feel any impacts? Well, Anthony, Los Angeles is on track for the hottest Super Bowl in NFL history, and we're not just talking about those jaw-dropping ticket prices. You mentioned temperatures are going to be high. I got a chance to talk to Superintendent Dr. Barry Collins here today at the Board of Education meeting here in Onslow County. Dr. Collins still maintains the school male administrator did nothing wrong in searching the 17-year-old female student, but admits the situation probably could have been handled better and says the school district will be working on improving student searches. Melissa Wilson has been looking for answers from Onslow County schools for over a month now, after she claims her daughter was inappropriately searched for a vape at Swansboro High School. Until Tuesday, the only communication from the district has been a written statement standing by the administrator, saying the search was conducted appropriately. Tuesday, we took her concerns to Superintendent Dr. Barry Collins after requesting on-camera interviews several times. I asked him directly exactly what their investigation entailed.
We have an investigator at our central office that spoke with all the parties involved, and from that investigation we determined that the allegations were not completely true. I'm not saying that it was all false, but it did not reach the level of accusations that we were hearing from the parent.
Melissa Wilson told us she should have been contacted before the search and said a female should have conducted the search. We looked into the district's policy. It does say a female administrator should conduct the search on a female student when feasible. I have the search policy here, and like you said, it does say when feasible. However, if there was a female witness in the room, why was it not feasible to have her search the student instead of the male?
Because we have trained our administrators in how to conduct a search. A female teacher or guidance counselor is not trained in that search. So the search has to be conducted by an administrator.
Absolutely. Do you not have then any female administrators at the school?
We do.
And they could not conduct the search?
That's correct.
I think, the concern from the parent here is when her child comes home crying, feeling violated. And of course, obviously this policy is in place for a reason.
Sure.
And of course, that's just to protect the safety, security of the student.
Right.
Knowing that the student feels violated based on the search by the male administrator, whether it was invasive or non-invasive, is that reason enough for the school district to take action in the future to make sure that that doesn't happen to another student and doesn't make another student feel uncomfortable?
Absolutely. I think you bring up a good point. Our Board of Education is currently reviewing all of our policies. Is there room for us to make things easier and better for people? Yes.
Melissa and her daughter did not attend tonight's meeting, but I did talk to her on the phone. She says she's still not happy with the district's answer. She believes it should have been feasible for a female administrator to search her daughter. As for Dr. Collins, he says he's sad that a student felt violated and hopes to make sure another student never feels violated again. Reporting live here in Onslow County tonight, I'm Kate Hussey for News Channel 12. Dozens, if not hundreds, of people lined the side of Highway 117 South here in front of the funeral home just a few hours ago, some of whom knew Sergeant Fishman personally, many others who did not. It's a testament to the impact he's made on the people of Central and Eastern Carolina.
You and Emerson come hold the flag.
With heavy hearts,
Come here.
Stephanie Moody, David Rutledge, and their children unfurl a solemn show of support for their fallen deputy.
Here, you hold this side, hold the bottom.
The flag held firmly between them as the friends marched their way to the side of Highway 117 South, awaiting the arrival of a man they call their hometown hero.
So Matt was actually a good friend of mine. His wife and I went to school together since the 6th grade. So he is our hero.
Sergeant Fishman paid the ultimate sacrifice Monday, a sacrifice Stephanie and David don't take lightly.
I know how much it means to his family, and especially to my friend Sarah, his wife, and their children. So I think it's very important for them to be able to see that this community has got their back in the toughest time of their life at the moment.
So with heat glaring down,
Where's Mr. Matt?
He's coming, baby.
and arms getting tired,
Hold it straight. He would be proud of you.
they wait. The solemn church bells ringing in the memories of their old friend.
If there was one thing I think he'd want people to know is that he was a God-fearing man.
Until finally,
I hear it.
I see him.
the convoy arrives. Time to welcome their friend home for the very last time. A community standing silently together, hands upon hearts, tears running from their eyes.
all wondering the same thing. How do you repay a sacrifice when that sacrifice is the greatest one of all?
I don't think there's any repay. I think this is the least that we could do is to be out here today, just to honor his name and to continue to honor his name so that his children never forget him.
Parents holding their own children tight as the last siren drives by. A hero laid to rest by a community far beyond Wayne County lines, impacted by his service.
Here, fold it up.
And by his sacrifice.
I love his family very dearly. They are a big piece of my heart, and I hope that they know we're all here for them through everything.
Now, both Stephanie and David tell me that Sergeant Fishman was a servant both in uniform and out. They say he was the type of person that was always trying to help others whenever they could. They also tell me that he was a family man and a godly man. Reporting live here in Wayne County tonight, I'm Kate Hussey for News Channel 12.
Door after door, Craven County Sheriff Chip Hughes and School Safety Coordinator Nick Lucas check each and every entry point at Creekside Elementary School, making sure there's no way for an intruder to get in.
I want our folks to know here in Craven County that our schools are safe, and we're going to do everything we have to do to make sure that happens.
It's part of a district-wide safety audit the Craven County Sheriff's Office issued for all its schools in wake of the Uvalde Elementary School shooting. A scathing 77-page report released by the Texas legislature condemning the Uvalde police force and the school district's, quote, lack of preparation for an attack.
We've got to make sure that we don't become complacent. We can't think that it won't happen here in New Bern.
We've been improving everything that we can in every area that we can.
Craven County isn't the only district taking action in wake of that shooting. I reached out to every school district and every sheriff's office in Eastern Carolina to see if others are doing the same. Every single district tells me they regularly perform walkthroughs of schools, checking for potential safety concerns like broken door locks or easy-to-open windows, prompting some districts like Carteret to make critical changes ahead of the school year.
We have found things this summer that we're improving on, and we know that tomorrow we'll find things we didn't find today. We are constantly replacing door locks and equipment.
We hope and pray that nothing, any events ever happen at our schools like we've seen across our nation. But if something were to transpire, we want to be in the best position that we can be.
Carteret County Sheriff Asa Buck also stepping up his deputies' response. The multi-agency active shooter training held Thursday, one of many mass casualty trainings conducted in recent weeks by law enforcement agencies across our area. New Bern Police training with new active shooter protection equipment this month, while Onslow and Washington County Sheriffs tell me they underwent similar training just last week.
I have 6 grandchildren in school. That makes me feel better, you know, knowing that they're training for this.
There are regular monthly drills. I mean, it does draw your attention back to student safety.
Multiple other districts tell me they're taking additional measures this summer to protect Eastern Carolina schools. Bertie County stepping up their sheriff deputies' presence. Carteret is upgrading their video camera systems. Martin County now heightening security during daily activities. While Pamlico County Superintendent and Sheriff meeting Thursday, discussing ways to improve safety.
It kind of gives us some security to know that something is being in place.
A tragedy 1,500 miles away, hitting close to home not just for parents and grandparents like Linda Lay, but also for Lucas and Sheriff Hughes. A tragedy they and others say they'll do everything they can to prevent from coming to Eastern Carolina.
Do not come to Craven County and try that. Day one of school this year, you will see multiple deputies from every division within my office walking the schools.
There is one major shortcoming here. More than half of our Eastern Carolina counties don't have a school resource officer in every building. And those I talk to who don't tell me they're doing everything they can to change that, but are facing staffing shortages and a lack of funding at every turn. I'll break that down in my next investigation next Thursday. But in the meantime, we have a breakdown of every district's safety procedures, county by county.